Podgram.
You see, you're on fire today.
Sitting here in the dark, I realized I didn't turn the lights on.
The Podgram with Tom and Christy.
It's sad that this is the world that we live in.
Here, let me stop and tie my shoe right in front of you so you can't drive.
The Podgram.
All of a sudden, I hear...
Well, I don't really care.
Join the conversation. 855-PODGRAM.
Bust your ass.
Yeah.
The Podgram with Tom and Christy starts now.
Welcome to the Podgram Live. We are ripping out the power hits on Facebook Live today, as well as over on YouTube Live. However, we are not monitoring the YouTube live chat, just the Facebook. We'll do the Facebook live chat. It is Wednesday. I think we have some Weight Loss Wednesday to take care of today, and we also need to say hello to my good friend, Christy Bush.
Good morning.
Hello to you. How are you?
I am wonderful.
Are you now?
Well, I am.
Yeah.
But I have a question for you.
Okay.
What's a compliment?
I guess when somebody says something nice to you.
Okay. How do you take a compliment?
I am not good.
What is considered a compliment? I mean, that's my question.
Well, I mean, I guess when somebody says you look nice, and I'll get back to the split screen in a second. I can do that now. I'm trying to get the. There we go.
Okay.
There we go. I'm getting the chat room up. Oh, look, Emily's already in here this morning. Emily's already here. Hello, G.
Yay.
Hello, G. Yeah, Mike Phillips is hanging out. Appreciate you coming by, Mike. I don't know, a compliment. When somebody says, I don't know, your hair looks nice or something.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that.
Okay. By the way, your hair looks nice. Let's get it close.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. You have this hair that it can be completely different from one day to the next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I probably could be witness relocation. I could teach witness relocation.
Yeah, you could. Yeah. You could hide from Gus Fring with that hair.
I could, I could probably rob banks or, steal stuff and nobody would know. Be like, didn't she have curly hair when she came in?
About 20 minutes ago. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
All right. So anyway.
So a compliment. So for those of you who are hooked up or connected with my Facebook, I posted a picture similar to this get up.
Yeah.
From a week ago Thursday. Mm-hmm. And I didn't have my glasses on and I had this kind of look,
Yeah. And
it was a really, I think, attractive picture. If you want to show my Facebook picture, you're welcome to.
Oh,
it's probably too much work at this point, but
it is. Thanks for just blindsiding me and throwing that at me.
Well, I hadn't planned on bringing it, or throwing it out there, but it was an attractive picture, and which is why I put it up there. I changed my profile picture to this picture.
Yeah.
And I ran into someone yesterday at the school whom I haven't seen in quite a while. And she says, "Oh, I love the makeover picture."
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't really a makeover. It was just Thursday.
Uh-huh.
And I said, "Oh, well, thank you." And she's like, "No, you look great. I just, wow."
Here, I'll show the picture. I'll show the picture that we have on our website. That's what I'll show. I'll show the picture.
Okay.
There it is.
Yeah, because that's curly hair.
That's curly hair, yeah.
Versus straight hair.
Yeah.
That's
right. Yeah.
So it's kind of a compliment, but conversely, how much like shit did I look before?
Incidentally, speaking of our website at thepodgram.com, we have a live chat window over there too, and you're certainly welcome to go in there. And you can also listen to us on TuneIn Live.
But I mean, it's crazy.
It is.
I mean, and yeah, I'm probably overthinking it, and yeah. But it's kind of a compliment, but kind not.
Yeah.
I mean, it is, but it isn't. But and I should just stop it and say, okay, it's a compliment. Shut up and go with it.
Yeah.
Because it was. I mean, I know she genuinely meant it as a, yay, you look pretty. And the last time I saw her, I was probably 20 pounds heavier.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know. So
I don't take a compliment very. I used to be very bad with compliment.
you still are.
Well, I am to a point. It depends on the compliment, I suppose.
Well, and I think it's also depends on the giver of said compliment, you know?
Yeah.
Because if just anybody comes over and says, hey, Tom, looking good, you're like,
sometimes you have to wonder. Sometimes you got to wonder if there's, a backhanded comment in there somewhere.
Yeah.
But no, I used to have a problem. I would put myself down. I mean, it was like anti-compliment. And my philosophy was that if I do it before you do it, then I've just trampled out your fun because now you can't do it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hi,
that's
Gina.
a defense mechanism for fat people.
Yeah.
I used to do it all the time. I mean, but then again, I used to run with boys. I mean, like my groove, like I would hang with guys. Like in high school, I think I had maybe 2 girl friends. The majority of my friends were dudes.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, they're constantly, ripping the one-liners and the, one-upping each other. And, so very quickly I would, make comments about the size of my own butt and the size of this and the proportion of that and whatever. So that it just eliminated their fun.
Yes.
Well, that's no fun. Yeah. Well, she's got no ability to be hurt by this.
Yeah.
Even though it does.
Gina says less drama. Gina says drama. Yeah. Yeah.
And Gina, believe it or not, was one of my super close friends all the way up through 8th grade, middle of 9th.
Well.
In Oklahoma until I moved.
I have one friend from that time period that I speak to. Just one.
Just one?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. David. Met him in the 8th grade.
There's that.
And that's it. It's the only person I talked to from there.
Yeah. I could see that.
I try to impress upon my kids not to put too much weight into their friendships in, middle school.
Yeah.
Because, don't let friends get in the way of success right now. Don't get bad grades because, I remember when Kristen was in middle school and in high school, she was eligible to go into the advanced classes.
Yeah.
So when she found that out and they were considering putting her in advanced classes, she started goofing off and screwing her grades over. So that, you okay?
Yeah, no, I just put something up under my monitor and it dropped.
Oh, I see.
Like, went flying to the side and I went, oop.
She intentionally screwed her grades so they would not put her in advanced classes because her friends would make fun of her because she would be at that point a prep.
Well, yeah, I mean, if your social group is going one direction and you're going the other.
And I told her, I said, listen, when you get out of high school, these people aren't going to matter to you.
They're not going to give two who you are and what you're doing.
You're not even going to see them anymore. They could, you know what? They could give a
rat's behind.
A rat's hat. You're not ever going to, oh, no, these are my friends and we'll be friends forever for life, blah, blah, blah. And of course, now here she's out of high school for a few years and she doesn't, maybe one or two of them she still talks to from time to time, but that's it. That's it. Nobody, see, and my point is, none of the friendships she had in high school really mattered in the grand scheme of things. And the friendships that she does have from high school, those kids also wish they'd tried a little harder at this point in their life because now they're all slamming ham to make ends meet.
Yeah. Working at Zaxby's.
And getting nowhere. Yeah. And getting nowhere.
Yeah.
And so they kind of wish that they'd applied themselves a little bit more.
Yeah.
But back in school, the friendships are everything. Yeah. So there's that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a really hard time with friends in high school.
Yeah.
Really hard time.
Yeah, I did too.
You know, it's like I didn't, at the end, when I graduated, I did not want to leave high school. I wanted to stay forever.
Hey, listen, that was a great time. Even though I wasn't Mr. Popular, even though I was the fat kid that got picked on, whose dad bought his shoes at Winn-Dixie grocery store, it was still the best times. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. But
well, I mean, I had undiagnosed depression.
Yeah.
Untreated, undiagnosed depression.
Yeah.
So like my moods would go up and down and up and down and up and down. And it was, for me, really emotionally havoc.
Mm-hmm.
It was just total hell.
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't understand why I would get so upset, and why I didn't understand why I would grow so attached to people, and why things just hurt me more than other people.
Yeah.
And why I felt everything so much more than other people.
Yeah.
So for me, it was tough. And I'm paying close attention, like with my daughter, because these kinds of things tend to run in families.
Yeah.
So I'm paying attention to my daughter, and I'm kind of noticing some of those things starting with her.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to, you know, hopefully teach her some life lessons.
Yes, indeed. Indeed. Yeah. It's 11 after right now on the Podgram.
The Podgram with Tom and Christy. Join the conversation. 855-PODGRAM.
Love to hear from you today. You can check us out on Facebook Live, on YouTube Live, and on TuneIn 24/7. We stream over there 24/7. Obviously, we're not live the whole time, but we are right now. So feel free to give us a call, 855-PODGRAM. Love to hear from you. I was just telling you, Christy, who I miss is Dano. We haven't heard from Dano in a while, so hopefully he'll get back to chatting with us pretty soon.
Hopefully.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I spoke with him last night, so I'm kind of hoping he'll get out of bed and, you know, come on over and listen.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
So the movie premieres from last week, one of the big movie premieres, not from last week, but the weekend before, was Disney's Incredibles 2.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something your kids want to see?
I don't think they're aware of it.
Okay.
See, because we don't have cable anymore. We don't have,
that's right.
And so yeah, so they don't know about it. That's the cool part of having no cable, is that my kids don't know anything about current video games. They don't know anything. You know, we gave them a Nintendo, and they're like, "Oh, this is cool." You know, the rest of the world's like, "Ah, it's crap. Throw it in the trash." My kids are like, "Wow, when did they come out with this?" You know,
long.
Right. So, Dad, you mean we can actually play a game on the TV?
Wow.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. So that's the advantage of not having cable. I don't have a bunch of kids running around that want everything.
Yes.
That they see on TV, and that's pretty cool. And they don't really feel deprived, because they do get to watch stuff on Hulu and on Netflix and on Amazon Prime Videos, and there's some free ones too. I don't watch the free.
It's all about perspective.
It is. Well,
I mean, if you give your kids everything immediately, what are you setting them up for?
Yeah. Well, and the other thing is that, that kids today, I think that's where a lot of entitlement starts off.
I mean, I know someone whose 13-year-old daughter got a birthday party that included a limousine ride to Syracuse with like 13 of her friends to go to Dave & Buster's.
Yeah. You know what a limousine ride at my house consists of? Y'all get your ass in the van. That's a limousine ride from here.
I mean, 13 people in a limo?
Get in the van. We're going to Chunky Cheese.
I mean, what are they building to? I mean, honest to God. I mean, by the time she's 16, they're going to have to buy her a car.
Oh, yeah. Well, I remember that video. I saw a video about a girl who lives, I guess, at home with her mom, and she needed a G-Wagon.
Yes.
You know, she didn't want no Uber Honda. She wasn't going to be caught driving. She needed like 25.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Dr. Phil.
Dr. Phil. And so she needed Yeah, she had to have 25. She told her mom, and told Dr. Phil she needed $2,500 a month of an allowance to live on. And she didn't,
a week.
Oh, was it
$2,500 a week.
A week, right. And she couldn't have no Honda or Lexus. It had to be a G-Wagon because it had to be, like an Uber luxury thing or something. I forget exactly the term that she used, but it was, and this kid didn't just wake up one day and decide she needed all that stuff. It comes from.
And the mom admitted that she did it after the parents split and got divorced.
Yeah. She
admitted that she felt guilty and that she compensated by buying her and giving her everything that she wanted.
That's a demon that you bring up when you do that. You did it. When you give your kid everything. See, with me, I'm not in a position to give my kids everything. I can't.
You made it.
I can't.
You made it.
Even if I could, though, I don't believe in it.
I mean, you made it. It's your choice.
Yeah.
So Disney's Incredibles 2.
Yeah.
I got to tell you.
Tell me.
It's in the news because it's in trouble.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Moviegoers are being warned about the risk of seizures.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, because of the lighting effects and all that?
No. While fans are praising the movie, they're actually warning people with epilepsy not to go because the villain in this movie uses flashes of light or strobe light effect to deflect his weapon of choice to distract anyone attempting to attack.
Yeah.
That's his weapon is.
Yeah.
And it's been affecting people with epilepsy. It gave 2 separate people. There's been 2 reported cases now of people who have had epileptic seizures in the theater from this particular person.
Yeah.
That have lasted over. I mean, this is bad.
Yeah, it is bad. This is a problem also with emergency vehicles now that all of the warning lights on emergency vehicles are LEDs, which means that they're instant on, instant off. That when you turn an incandescent bulb off, it fades to dark. It doesn't instantly just disappear. And when you turn it on, it fades to light. It's not an instant on thing. Yeah. And I don't know why that keeps happening. It's a Facebook Messenger. Instant message is what it is. And I don't know how to turn that off. Anyway, it's a Windows 10 thing. I hate Windows 10. Windows 10 is not my friend on any level at any time for any reason. Can't stand it. Anyway, that's a problem with emergency vehicle lighting is that the strobing of all of, and then when you have all these volunteers who have their vehicles loaded down with all these strobing LED lights. And so the scene of the whatever it is, if it's an accident or if it's whatever it is, the scene is just this great big, huge strobing, flashing colors. People with epilepsy driving through an emergency scene like that have had seizures triggered and run over people because it's too much. The other thing is that some of those warning lights have a day and a night mode. And the day mode is much brighter. It's like twice as bright as night mode.
Really?
And everybody every department that I know of that has the lighting that's able to do that, they just wire it in day mode. So at nighttime, you're really like frying stuff with them.
Wow.
Yeah. You're driving down the road with your red lights or your blue lights on and leaves are coming out of the trees. Paint's peeling off the guy's car in front of you.
Sun-tanning themselves, And
yeah. Anyway.
There's this kid in my daughter's class whose grandmother I was at a birthday party with.
Yeah.
And she's got a level of suntan that I think is like 2 stages beyond Oompa Loompa.
I don't know what that is, but I'm going to say that's bad, right?
I mean, like so brown.
Yeah.
like melanoma.
She's one big mole.
She is a giant mole.
Yeah. I see people that go to the tanning salon that overdo it. And it's pretty obvious. And they look extremely artificial. Yeah. Anyway, so you were saying.
I don't understand how that.
Sometimes people's is morons.
The Podgram with Tom and Christy. Join the conversation. 855-PODGRAM.
20 after right now in the Podgram. Thanks so much for hanging out with us today. We're on Facebook Live. We're on YouTube Live. And we're on TuneIn. You can also get the Z Player app for your Amazon Alexa device and tell her to play, what is it, channel
401.
Is it 401? Let me look. Let me go back to the home page.
It is.
Let me go back to the
401.
Is it 401? Okay. All right. You told me so. Yep.
Don't question radar.
I know. You're supposed to be able to just go to your Amazon device.
Radar.
I know. You're supposed to be able to go to your Amazon device and say, play the Podgram. But it thinks you're asking for some artist named Podgram, which it doesn't have any music from. And so we've been battling that for, well, months now. And I don't anticipate that getting fixed.
So since it's Weight Loss Wednesday.
Yes.
And I kind of think I might have lost a couple.
Well, that's cool. Because if you think you have, you probably have.
Only because I think my pants fit better.
Yes.
I don't know. I know I've gained a couple. But, and that's fine. I mean, I know I ebb and tide, but I mean, I still hover right in the same range.
Yes.
But I've had a lot going on with my life lately, so I'm not being super harsh or critical. You know, as long as I'm not kind of, creeping back to the, 337 range, I'm
354 for me. As long as I'm not anywhere near that, then I'm okay.
As long as TLC's not pitching me at my own series.
You don't have a crane coming to lift you out of the bed.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
But
well, those people have a system of enablers to get them there.
That's true. Are you familiar with the Cake Boss?
Yeah, I haven't watched it, but yeah.
I think even people who've never watched the show, everybody knows the Cake Boss just because he's on TV for like everything now.
Yeah.
He's in news because he's recently lost quite a bit of weight.
Yeah.
I mean, he used to be slimmer and trimmer, but then again, he owns like this gigantic bakery and pastry shop in New Jersey, and it's legendary.
Yeah, how can you work in food service of any kind?
Yeah. And
have the freedom, and of course, they say you don't want to never trust a skinny chef.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like I used to work. I was telling you before the show. I used to be a partner in ownership of a restaurant, and it was like it was a greasy little fast food stand. It was an old Tasty Freeze that had been that we leased the building, and we kind of sold the same fare. I mean, we had hamburgers and hot dogs and chuck wagon. Dave, you know what a chuck wagon is? Okay, this is nasty. At the time, I didn't know, probably didn't care. But a chuck wagon, for those who don't know, is like every kind of leftover meat ground up and formed into a McNugget type patty. And then breaded and fried. And then you put it on a bun with more carbs, right?
Yep.
And I love those things. I couldn't eat enough of those things. And my cholesterol, and my weight went up and my cholesterol went up, and it was awful because I was always eating at the restaurant.
You become a meatball.
Yeah, I didn't want to go grocery shopping. I hate the grocery store. I don't even like to drive past the grocery store.
And you're on your feet all day. So, yeah, that's just what you want to do is, walk some more.
Go home, cook some more. Then,
yeah.
And at home, I didn't have any employees to clean up after me. When I was cooking. So, yeah. Yeah.
So, Buddy the Lastro, otherwise known as the Cake Boss,
Okay.
he's recently turned 41,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I gave you some pictures.
You did, but I can't display them.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
He posted on Instagram a couple of which I've posted and tweeted to our Podgram site and
it's right there on
to
top.
Twitter.
Right there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
I can show you that. I can show you that. Here it is, right here.
Perfect.
Where's my mouse? Right here. See it?
That's his fat picture.
Is that his fat? Well,
that is his fat picture.
Oh,
that's fine.
That's the cows outside your house there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are my divine bovine.
Running low on burger patties? Run outside and grab one. Not a problem.
That was my gridlock traffic yesterday.
I tell people I've got a 60-foot commute to work, and the biggest traffic jams I run into are a couple of dogs in the hallway. You know.
It's great.
Yeah. Although I'm picking up more work to do outside of the house, which is nice.
Yeah.
Friday I get to go work at a radio station. They need some work done, and Monday I was out in Goldsboro. It was 101 degrees at the TV station transmitter that I was at.
That'll melt the pounds off right there.
I was afraid as I was driving down the road that my tires were going to start sticking to the road. It was pretty hot.
Yeah.
And now, having said that, my air conditioning in the van works very well.
Perfect.
It didn't work very well, but it does now because I went out after the guy who fixed the air conditioner and put 24 ounces more Freon in the system. And now it makes nice cold air.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. And even when you stop at the traffic light, it still blows cold. Didn't do that before.
So Buddy the Lastro took to Instagram on Monday, and he posted a pic of himself and his wife, slimmed down, looking healthy. And he said, a lot of people have been asking me how I've slimmed down lately, and I just wanted to share that I've used the Optiva program.
What is
that? He wrote alongside the photo. Hang on, I'm getting there. I'm not being paid to say this, and it should be noted that I think everybody is different and you should do whatever suits you. But this is what I'm doing, and I'm very happy with the results so far.
Yeah.
So if you've ever heard of Medifast, have you heard of Medifast?
I have not.
It's like the shakes, like the protein powder shakes.
Okay.
You may know a little bit about Optiva. They started their original products in 1980, but it's a combination of they want you to choose a lifestyle, not a diet.
Well, that's what you have to do if you want to be successful in the long term with any kind of weight loss.
What their philosophy is regardless of what program you choose, you get a coach to help you through the process as you build long-term sustainable healthy habits.
Mm-hmm.
You get a diet plan, you get coaches, they teach you how to prepare meals.
Yeah.
They teach you how to work exercise in. They teach you how, there are kits. It's expensive.
Yeah.
The cost is based on the program that you pick, and the kits are ranging anywhere from $350 to $400 per month.
Let me.
In addition, you'll have to purchase food to make your lean and green meals and possibly healthy snacks.
See, that's the thing about that company, apparently, but also like Jenny Craig and all of these places that you buy these meals from. Mm-hmm. They're not in business to help you lose weight. They're in business to sell their meals to you.
Yes.
And there's no magic in the box. The only thing it does is gives you a meal that's under 500 calories so that you can metabolize all of it at one time and you don't store anything. That's all it is. There's no magic in the box. Nothing. Nope. Have you heard of Visalis?
Yes.
And seen the science Body by Vibe. This is the powder may be all right. It may be okay. It isn't bad tasting. I've had it. It's a little spendy for what you get, but it's a multi-level marketing thing. And it's funny whenever somebody on your Facebook friends group decides they're going to sell ViSalus, because if you're going to be into multi-level marketing, you have to completely be willing to ass rape all of your friends and beat them to death, trying to convince them to sell this product under you. Because in any multi-level marketing, you make nothing unless you have people that sign up under you that are good go-getters. And so it's funny because I was on the ViSalus. It was like $40 for a bag. Didn't even come in didn't even come in a now we pay $50 for some protein shakes, but it's like 5 pounds of protein shakes. The ViSalus, I think, was half that amount. It was in a bag, not even in a little plastic screw top drum. Looks like they come in like what looks like little toxic waste drums, little mini toxic waste drums. Yeah. But and Melanie went and got me some muscle milk the other day because they have a pre-made drink in the store that you can buy in the drink cooler, single serving, and it's no carbs. I think it's like
I love muscle milk. It's like great.
It's like 3 grams or 7 grams or whatever, depending on what flavor that you get. But it's like $4 for a little bottle. And I'm thinking to myself, why can't we just whip that up at home? Yeah. So she went and found muscle milk powder at Walmart, brought it home, and I was enjoying them. Then I realized that they have 17 grams of carbs per serving on the kind that they have at Walmart. You got to be really careful when you buy protein powder because a lot of it has carbs in it to help these guys bulk up for like weightlifting competitions and stuff like that. So protein powder is not all created equal. You've got to be really careful what you buy. And she saw on the label on the front, it said 3 grams of sugars and mistook that for 3 carbs. But then when you turn it around and you read the nutrition facts, you find it's got 17 grams of carbs per serving. Yeah. Which is 8 ounces.
Crazy.
8 ounces once you make it up. And then whatever because I can't stand making protein shakes with water. So I use almond milk because it's, I don't use the vanilla flavored because there's more carbs in that. But yeah, the ViSalus thing, I had a friend on my Facebook page who was into that. And it's funny because all of the postings that the couple made on their Facebook pages went from pictures of the kids, pictures of summer vacation, pictures of this, that, and the other, to pictures of how much weight I've lost, pictures of my face. I've lost 40 pounds. I've lost 50 pounds. And I think ViSalus offers you the opportunity to have some kind of exotic car. Is it a Mercedes, maybe? Yeah, if you get to a certain level of sales, you get a Mercedes. Now, here's how that works. They lease you a Mercedes if you get to that level of sales. If you drop below that level of sales, the payment is on you. And so I think they actually got the Mercedes, but then they ended up having to pay the lease out because their sales dropped. And ViSalus wasn't paying the note for it anymore because they dropped below a certain level of sales. Now, and of course, then
is Plexus the same thing?
It probably is.
Yeah.
And what's interesting about that is now when you go back and you look at their Facebook pages, no mention of ViSalus anywhere. They're out of it. They don't do it anymore. After the Mercedes thing, they.
Yeah.
But in order to get into multi-level marketing like that, you have to be dedicated. You got to whore out your friends. You have to convert all of your friends into potential customers and then high pressure them into buying your stuff.
You have to have no shame.
Right.
Whatsoever.
Right. Everywhere you go, you've got to try to convince somebody to buy your crap.
Everywhere you go, like every single human being that you make eye contact with.
Yeah, the grocery store clerk. Hey, I lost 41 pounds on ViSalus, and you can too. Body by Vi. Woohoo! Here's my card.
Can I have $20 on pump 2? And by the way, you're fat. Can I help you?
Yeah. Have you ever heard of ViSalus? Well, I'm an authorized rep for ViSalus. And it's on Facebook. It's on their Twitter. It's everywhere. And so now they're back to family photos and college and vacations. And it's funny to watch the transition of people who I can't begin to tell you how many people in my life have tried to drag me, and it always starts with, hey, listen, I've got a money-making opportunity for you.
Oh, sure.
And there's a meeting on Thursday night to come to. What's this about? Well, just come to the meeting. Everything will be explained at the meeting. You know, blah, 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 whatever.
Let me guess, it's in Jonestown.
And then you go to this meeting and you don't know what it is until somebody pipes up and says, hey, is this Amway? Amway was the original multi-level marketing scheme.
Oh, I have a good story about Amway.
Yeah, Amway was the original multi-level marketing scheme. You know, go ahead.
So a friend of mine right out of high school, my friend Dan and I got invited to go to an Amway presentation.
Yeah.
And we drove from Lancaster to York.
Yeah.
Which is probably a good hour and a half.
Yeah.
And we drove all the way there. We went and we sat through the whole presentation, and it was so boring. Yeah. Oh my God.
And then when you tell them you're not interested, what? You don't want to make money? You don't want to?
Is there some reason that you're not? I mean, could you tell us why? I mean, because if you can tell me what your objection is, then I can overcome it. Because I guarantee we've been taught every overcome your objection line there is humanly possible.
Yeah. My buddy at the junkyard several years ago got involved. I'm sorry.
So it gets better.
Okay.
So we're sitting there, and we finally escape the madness, right? And Dan says, and I'm like, what's the matter? He goes, I didn't think we were going to make it. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, I ate something at lunch, and I don't know what the heck is going on. But I was just really glad that those chairs were cushioned.
Yeah.
Holy Lord.
That's funny. That's funny.
He's like, seriously, I thought the woman behind us was going to pass out.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go, Amway.
Yeah.
So Ian left his mark on Amway.
Yes. So my buddy.
And he hounded us. That Amway guy hounded us.
Don't let him have your phone number.
6 months.
Yeah, don't let him have your phone number. Yeah.
Oh, 6 months.
Yeah, because if you don't, they're nice to you at first. And then they start try to make you feel like a squirrel if you don't sign up. Why would you, do you not want financial security in the future and blah, 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 blah. And so, my buddy told me, I'd like to talk to you about, an opportunity to make some money. And so I'm thinking voiceovers, web design, whatever. Let me show you how to promote your business, something like that. I thought he wanted my services. And I get out there. He's not even there, but the guy from the company is there. I forget what it was.
And
the guy says to me, when I told him, I said, look, man, you know what? I appreciate it. I'm not interested in MLM whatsoever. I've got a career. I like what I do. I don't work a day in my life because I love the work I do. I'm just not interested. He goes, what? You don't want to make any money? I said, I make plenty of money. You and I know the truth. That's not true at all. But I told him, I'm good. And so we walk outside, and he points his car out. He says, see that? That's a damn Mercedes right there. And I said, you see that? That's a classic Chevy pickup right there. And I love it. And I don't care if I had $1 billion, I would still drive a pickup. I would not drive a Mercedes. I would not drive a BMW or any of that kind, because it's not my deal.
Because I can look my friends in the eye and say, hey, you want a beer? And have them not go, I still hate you for giving me your Amway guy's phone number.
I don't know. Will that mix with Visalis? I don't care how much money I had. I still have no interest in those cars. I just don't. I would have one hell of a Dukes of Hazzard General Lee replica car and a garage to put it in. But I would still drive, a minivan. I'd have a newer minivan. I wouldn't have, my 20-year-old beat to death, dents all over it. Somebody keyed my van. I don't have any enemies right now. Nobody out there hates me right now that I know of. And I came out the other day, and there's this great big scratch from the tail light to the front turn signal. All the way. They even went around the door handles because the door handles got in the way. Big key scratch. Why do people do that? Well, obviously, it was somebody who doesn't even know me who did that.
Yeah.
At a store somewhere, or when it was over at Jimmy's shop. I need to ask him if he's got a problem with cars getting keyed up over there. Because it was, yeah. And so, why do people, that may be a good show topic for one day, is why do people who don't even know you destroy your property in fun?
The Podgram with Tom and Christy.
They're still at it.
I'm walking two people talk about nothing.
Join the conversation. 855-PODGRAM.
It's 20 till right now at the Podgram. We're live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, tune in. You can get the app on your phone. If you are not sure how to do that, well, I'm going to show you right now how you can get the app on your phone. That's our website, and you go there. It's thepodgram.com. And then right here, where it says tune in, you hover over it and look, tune in for iOS. So if you're an iPhone user, you click there. If you have an Android phone, you click there. If you have Windows, and who has Windows on their phone anyway, you click there. And it takes you right to the store where you get your tune in thing. And that's how that works. No, I'm sorry, there's no link for BlackBerry, because does anybody really use that anymore at all?
But it's coming back.
Now,
BlackBerry
look,
is coming back.
It's too little too late. BlackBerry is over. They did reinvent themselves, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years ago, where they came out, because BlackBerry used to have the mechanical keyboard on it with the push buttons on it. And there was a great big, the great big thing and whatever, kind of like the Palm. Remember the Palm Pilot? And then they
Evan. Phil had a Palm Pilot.
Yeah, and then they started making it started out being just a PDA. And then they started including them on phones. That was like one of the first smartphones was a Palm OS. And I had a Palm 3C that I got from my sister gave it to me, because her and my mother went to go see the Rosie O'Donnell show.
Ooh.
Boy, she's not too much of a waste of skin these days, is she? So they went to go see the Rosie O'Donnell show, and everybody in the audience got a Palm 3C.
Wow.
And it had a little camera attachment that went onto it, and it took like thumbnail-sized pictures. But, so it was cool. It was cool. I got to play solitaire on it. But then game changer, Apple came out in 08, 07, somewhere in there, and they came out with a smartphone, right? Mm-hmm. And it was miles ahead of anything anybody had ever seen before. And then everybody else tried to become me too. Android and BlackBerry just phased out into the background, and nobody's like, yeah, Crackberry, who wants that? And then somewhere around 12 or 13, BlackBerry came out with a Me Too type phone. Mm-hmm. Here's the problem. If BlackBerry returns with a new product, no matter how attractive the product is, the App Store will always lack the apps that iOS and Android have.
Because nobody's going to spend their time developing apps for that.
They don't. It used to be that a company or someone who developed an app for something, 90% of the budget went to the iPhone app, 10% went to the Android app. So there were a lot of apps available on iOS that you couldn't get on Android. Now that there's more Android phones out there than there are Apple phones out there, because Android came a long way since the beginning. And now I think, what is it? There's 22 million, 22. There's more apps available on the Android store than on the iOS. But iOS, Apple kind of restricts what kind of apps, who can put them up. They have to make sure that they meet certain criteria, where Android's a little bit more loose on that. But no matter who comes up with a new OS for a smartphone now, BlackBerry, if Palm comes back around again, they don't have enough apps in their store, and never will, to take any kind of the market share. So, yeah, they can come back all they want to, but it ain't going to happen. So my question is, why do people destroy other people's property that they don't even know? Listen, I understand if you make somebody mad and they key your car. I think it's wrong. My car didn't do anything to you. If you got a problem, why don't you come try to key me? Why don't you come and take it up with me, not my car?
Again, in high school, I have stuff that happened in high school.
Oh, of course.
I was dating a kid who had a Mustang convertible. I think it was a 91 Mustang convertible. It was white and it had red interior and it was really pretty. It was really pretty.
Yeah.
And somebody egged his house.
Yeah.
And I would have no idea who did that.
Yeah.
So in retaliation for that,
yeah,
he decided to get an entire dozen eggs and he took them and he smashed them, like ground the eggs into the door panels in his convertible, and actually damaged the electronics. And Jeff wound up calling the police department, and he wound up having to pay his parents wound up having to pay almost $1,000 to get that stuff fixed.
Now, if you want to really ruin somebody's car, crack an egg and let it go down the defroster. Because you can never get it out. And the first time you turn the heat on in the wintertime, it's going to start roasting that rotten ass egg crap that's in that deteriorating egg crap, and you can't get it out ever. You would have
some cottage cheese.
Anything like that. Yeah, it doesn't have to be eggs. Yeah, anything like that.
Anything dairy based.
Anything that rots and stinks. Put a rat down in there. I had a friend of mine who used to let people drive his car all the time, and somebody thought it would be fun to pour a box of BBs down into the vent, into the defroster. And so every time you turn the corner, you could hear them all rolling around in the air box down. And then every so often, one would go far enough back into the thing where it would hit the fan, and it would start firing BBs out the dash vents at you. It's terrible. Nobody wanted to drive that car.
See, now, back in the day, my dad's generation, they used to take Limburger cheese and put it on the manifold when it was hot. So that anytime you turned on the heater, it would like blow stank cheese at you, and you can never get that smell out of your seats.
Nope. No, it's like a dead body in the car for a month. You know, you're never going to get it taken care of. But so then the other thing, they have this. If you really want to screw somebody up, they have this stuff called. And by the way, don't ever try this if you're listening. And
no, do not go all Carrie Underwood on somebody.
You don't. Not at all. Paint stripper in a can. You can buy it you can buy it at Lowe's, auto parts store, whatever. And this is for quickly removing old paint from something you intend to repaint. Well, it works on automotive finishes too. And I knew a guy who knew a guy who knew a guy who was mad at somebody and went to the shopping mall with a can of this stuff and lightly dusted the guy's car with it and just left. And the first time it rained, all the paint came off the car. Yeah, it was awful. Yeah. But now here's the other side of that too, is in those days, there wasn't cameras on you 24 hours a day.
That's true.
Everywhere you go, you need to assume there's a camera on you. Everything you do, assume that there are eyes on you, because that's how it is, whether it's somebody's smartphone or a camera on the building or secure, whatever. Mm-hmm. Assume that you're being looked at, because you are.
I mean, there's dash cams now. I mean, people routinely have their own dash cams. Like truck drivers are using them now just to protect themselves.
Yeah. 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 We need to do a show about there have been people caught in the midst of crimes by the Google Street View car.
We should.
So there's some interesting I'm on the Google Street View right now. If you type in my address, I'm at the mailbox, digging my mail out of the mailbox.
Have you ever watched Live PD?
No.
On A&E?
No.
It's a good show.
I'm sure it is.
It's they go live with like probably a couple of second delay, but they go live to I think they started with 3 or 4 different police departments. They're riding live with men and women of law enforcement. It's kind of like Cops, but instead of the segments being produced, it's absolutely live.
Yeah.
And they've had instances where, as the police were either trying to arrest someone or they were in pursuit of someone or a situation was going on, a viewer has caught something and commented on it on either the website or on live chat or
so they do it like a live chat
email.
with it too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's funny.
And there was one situation where the police had to respond to a report of a break-in at a private residence.
Yeah.
A woman who was in the Bahamas on vacation was notified that her home was her motion detecting alarm went off.
Yeah.
So she looked on her camera on her phone and she thought she saw movement.
Yeah.
Well, the police went and they looked around the perimeter and they didn't see anything. None of the doors were broken into. None of the windows were open.
Yeah. Nothing
looked out of place. Well, they wound up coming back and did find someone in the residence because a viewer saw, where the police did not, saw movement in a second-story window in a blind.
Oh, wow.
Where nobody else saw it.
Wow.
So they said something, they rolled back the tape, and they said, yep, look, right there. Yep, it's right there. Look, yep, he's right. So the police went back. They got the guy, got him out of the house.
See, before you go breaking the law, you need to think. Back in my day.
I mean, there's people who are ditching drugs out the windows, and they're like, oh, look, right there. That's where he ditched it. Yep.
There's a Google Earth picture. It's a picture of a dock at a lake, and you see this guy. And it looks like he's dragging some other guy by his feet with a trail of blood left behind. It looks like he's getting ready to ditch a dead body in the lake, and it may be. I mean, it may be what it is. There's some cool stuff on. There's websites where you can go look that stuff up, and it's kind of funny.
I think I need to do that. I might know what I'm doing after the show.
I know what we're doing for the rest of the day. We're gonna start looking at Google Earth and Google Maps.
Okie dokie.
Yeah,
there goes.
Street View's funny. You see drug deals taking place. It's just there's just so much stuff out there. Yeah, like I said, the Google streetcar. And here's the thing: I didn't even see the streetcar go by. They're not hard to spot. They're
because you were behind you and you were getting the mail.
Yeah, but when I hear a car coming, I generally look up to see who it is.
You were probably making sure that the Mexicans hadn't been stealing.
Probably because they did that to me. But
several times.
So you see me at the mailbox with the Oldsmobile up there, and and I looked and I'm like, wow, man, you get a different perspective on yourself when you see yourself from somebody else's perspective.
As seen from Google
Earth, Google Street View car. I didn't realize my damn legs were so short. I've got this really long torso, but my legs are like only, like that dog we used to have. He was the size of a shepherd, but he had little bitty like hot dog legs, and he was always dragging his gut on the ground. No matter, he was pissed all the time.
Like my corgi.
Corgi legs on a Doberman. You know what I mean? It's what I look like.
You're a potato on sticks.
Because I got no rear end. I'm a fat guy.
Okay.
I'm a fat guy, but I got no ass.
My dad did that to Amber once, and it was hilarious. He's like, nope, you got to see this. Look, watch. And because he was complaining that he had no ass, and he was begging. He's like, if I could implant a butt, I would. Yeah. Because he's like, this happens every time. And he went, bunk, bunk, bunk. And he jumped up and down 3 times. Yeah. And his pants went boop, right to the floor.
Yeah. Have you seen...
Amber's like, not enough bleach in the world.
Have you seen the people that have like linebacker upper bodies and like
and their bodies go like this,
like little dainty? Oh, you see the legs, and then it's like there's a package, like a sack on top of the legs with this big linebacker upper, but these little like girl legs underneath. I'm not that bad. I'm not that bad. My legs are not fat, but I don't have quite that bad. But I have short little legs.
Now that it's short season and it's not leggings season, I've realized I probably need to tone up some of my upper thigh a little.
It's no wonder I can't run very fast. My legs are only...
See, I can run fast. It's just getting all of this to stop fast.
Right. Right. One time, what happened? One of my kids, when they were very little, were up the driveway near the road. And I went trying to run after them. This is when you realize that you're a fat guy, that you really have let yourself go. When I barely got down the 4 steps of my front porch and 3 steps into the yard before I was ready to collapse. I was like, sorry, kid, you got to get run over. I can't catch you. It ain't going to happen. You know, I get to the edge of the driveway. So,
I think my mom and my brother had an instance like that once where he was teasing her about something, and he's like, oh well, you're not going to catch me, look at you, you're old and smoking. She's like, oh, I will catch you. And she started running after him, and he took off running down the street, and she took off after him. When she caught him, she beat the snot out of him, and then she said, fine, get your ass back to the house, make your dad come get me with the car.
Let me tell you what happened. Yeah. Let me tell you what happened to me and my dad. I found out at some point that calling him old man really did not impress him, and he didn't like it.
Oh.
He told me I was doing something wrong. And I said, well, what do you know about it, old man? And he decided it was time to whip my ass.
Oh.
So he chases me. And we went around the car a few times, chased me. And then I took off down the driveway. Well, he was faster than me. And he caught up to me in the cul-de-sac and threw his arm around me like this to grab me. And I grabbed his arm and I yanked as hard as I could. And I flipped him in front of me. And I ran over him like a monster truck. Busted his knee. And he was laying on the road. And I thought, okay, he's just doing this to get me to come over so he can grab me. So he don't want to chase me anymore. He's just laying there so he can grab me and beat my ass. I'm not falling for it. Meanwhile, the neighbors are all out watching. And
of course,
Mrs. Carey, the assistant principal who nobody likes, I think she's in a whack ward now. Anyway, Tommy, you go back. And now it's starting to rain too.
Oh no.
Starting to go help your. I said, I ain't getting near him. Somebody's going to beat my ass. I ain't, No. And so, but now I feel bad though, because to this day he limps because of that. And we were, a few years ago, my parents, we were at my parents for Christmas. And one of my sister's friends was there and says, why does your dad walk like that? And just kind of quietly asked her. And my sister, very loudly to make sure he heard what was being said, said, oh, because my brother Tommy broke his knee because he was being an asshole when he was a kid. He tried to, Tommy broke his knee because he was being an asshole. I was like, thanks for that. Thank you for that.
Thanks, sis.
My dad and I did not get along. We did not get along. And I'm not going to go into any of that. But I will say that as a grown-up, as an adult, I want bygones to be bygones. I'd like to have a relationship with my dad and my parents. Yeah. That kind of stuff just really makes me feel bad. Yes, it was, and as my sister said, it was my dad's fault because he was being a jerk and he tried to do something and it didn't work out for him and he got his, because they really kind of demean my dad. They always call him an ass. He's just an asshole. My dad irons. That's his big thing now. He's got his own iron and he goes downstairs in the basement and he irons clothes all day long on the weekends. He irons. That's what he does. Edgel showed up in the last 38 seconds. Appreciate you, buddy. Appreciate you. Use good people. And the music's about to start. Cue the music because our time is up, it seems. Wow, I can't believe we actually dragged that out to an hour today. There are days where the show just smokes and goes on by. Hi, Josh. There's other days where I'm like, oh, we going to make it? We're going to make it? Anyway, that's our show.
Have a great make it.
I know. Have a great day, everybody.
The Podgram, copyright 2018, Big Tower Media. So don't be stealing our stuff.